Hello, I'm David Sandy. Welcome to our home. In just a moment, you're about to enter the most magical space in our entire house. Just beyond that curtain is an area we call Chambre de Mystere, which in French means Chamber of Mystery. Once the curtain opens, you'll enter into the Chambre, first of all the gallery, then the library, and then the most magical place of all. I'll leave that for a surprise. Because there's so much to see and experience once you enter the Chambre, let me point out some of the highlights now while you're waiting. You'll be greeted by Merlin the Wizard as you enter Chambre du Mystere. Merlin is handmade real stained glass, and only 2 of these exist in the entire world. In the gallery area, you'll see photographs, posters, awards and recognition pieces, and much more. All of these items are very personal and have meaning to either Lance or myself. For example, as an honorary lifetime member of the world-famous Magic Castle in Hollywood, California, and regular performer in many of its showrooms, a duplicate of my Magic Castle caricature, which thousands of people have seen hanging on the walls of the Magic Castle, is proudly displayed in our gallery. For much of his professional performing career, Lance devoted his talents to raising money for the Muscular Dystrophy Association by producing a wonderful annual magic show in his home state of Kentucky. The show featured magicians from around the country and raised literally thousands and thousands of dollars for the charity. In addition to my career as a magician and producer of magic shows and events, for many years I produced the authorized Red Skelton tribute show starring world-renowned comedian Tom Mullica. As a result, Red Skelton's widow, Lothian, and I became friends, and she presented me with a beautiful painting of a clown as painted by the late, great Red Skelton himself. Outside of his television and acting career, Red's hobby was that of a painter of clowns. This painting is on display in our gallery. In addition, you'll see a wonderful collection of magical posters and memorabilia of some of the world's foremost magicians throughout history scattered throughout the walls of our magic gallery. Also on display is a collection of photographs and posters of my personal magical mentor, Fawcett Ross, who actually lived here in St. Joseph up until the time of his death in 1987. Fawcett was very well known and respected in the world of magic, and many in our industry consider him as one of the greatest resources of magical thinking of all time. Beyond the gallery is our magic library. This library is a 40-year personal collection of books and notes on virtually every subject pertaining to magic and illusion. Whether it be card tricks, coin tricks, full-scale stage illusions, or even subjects discussing stagecraft, lighting, performance, and presentation, we have books that deal with these subjects and much more. Some of these books date back to the first part of the previous century, and many are quite collectible and rare. In the heart of Chambre de Mystere, you'll see our collection of magic props and illusions. Many of these props belong to Fawcett Ross, and only a few of these items exist in the entire world. Magic collectors from both coasts have traveled to St. Joseph just to view some of these items up close and in person. In addition to these very old magic props, we've displayed some of the first props from my early days as a child magician, as well as some of Lance's first magic tricks. One of the greatest magicians of all time was a performer by the name of Harry Blackstone. In his large touring show that played the biggest theaters in the world, he featured 2 illusions that became his signature pieces. In one illusion, the great Blackstone borrowed a gentleman's white handkerchief, tied a knot in the corner, and then somehow the hanky came alive as though it had a mind all its own. It would dance around the stage with no means of support for a period of time, after which Blackstone would return the handkerchief to the owner, who was fooled just as badly as the rest of the audience. After Blackstone Sr. retired, his son Blackstone Jr. carried on the stage spectacle and even played Broadway. After Harry Jr.'s untimely death due to illness, the famous Blackstone handkerchief illusion was performed only once more, this time by his daughter Bellamy, who was assisted by his wife Gay. Inside the Chambre, you'll see the very handkerchief used to present the final performance of the great Blackstone dancing handkerchief. It's signed by both daughter Bellamy and widow Gay. And in the same display, you'll see another Blackstone signature tricks, the Blackstone Vanishing Birdcage. A small birdcage would completely vanish from Blackstone's fingertips in full view, despite being surrounded by an enthusiastic group of children from the audience. The birdcage in our Chambre was a cage actually used by Harry Jr. in countless performances. Chambre du Mystere is filled with countless magical props, signed photographs, posters, and artifacts, and some very unique optical illusions. Remember, once inside the Chambre, things aren't always as they appear, so please, no touching, or you just may disappear yourself. I don't want to say too much about Chambre du Mystere. We want to leave a few surprises for you to discover yourself. Thank you for visiting our home in Chambre du Mystere. Hope your visit was very enjoyable, but most of all, magical and memorable.